just flat out said, and he's 75 years old. Come on, I mean, really. I have never looked that good. Never in my entire life. I was sitting here on the front row sweating because everybody was stealing what I was going to say. And, all these bishops were getting up talking about giving, and I thought, well, I can't say that anymore. And then Sam got up and he talked about it, and I can't say that. And then Magic got up and he talked about it. I go, now I know what Jesus meant where in the Bible he says, all who've gone before me are robbers and thieves. I know what that's all about. Thank you for letting me bring one of my worship choirs. It's Saddleback. Thank you. At Saddleback, I started it with one member in 1980. I was 25 years old. I had one member. It was Kay, my wife. I preached the first sermon. She said it was too long. It's been downhill ever since. But today, when we started, honestly, when we started the church, it was a lily white suburban church. It looked like me. I was 25 years old. But we have a value at Saddleback. We say, we want our church to look like heaven's going to look. And so today, Saddleback members speak 67 languages. Yeah. And our church is actually on 4 continents. I just got back from visiting Saddleback Berlin, Saddleback Manila, Saddleback Hong Kong. I'm going to go to Saddleback Buenos Aires in a little bit. And I've got 7 of my pastors here. I don't know where they all are. I see Jeremy Haynes here on the front. Jeremy, stand up. This is a pastor of Saddleback, LA. Right here, Jeremy Haynes. And they meet in the Palladium over on Sunset. And thanks for coming and sitting with me. I'm going to sit down. Is that okay? I feel right at home with you guys, so I'm going to sit down. I'll tell you the reason why. Kay would be here tonight, but her mom last night in the middle of the night fell. She's 93 years old, fell on cement. We had did a 911. I've been up all night. I haven't been to bed in 48 hours. And I thought it might be smarter if I sat down because I literally haven't been to bed in 48 hours. So I'm going to just sit down. When I think about my friend Charles Blake, he's preached twice at Saddleback. When we started our AIDS conferences and the global conference on AIDS in the church, Bishop Blake came down twice and helped me in those conferences, and it was a great thing. When I was driving up with some of my pastors and I was trying to tell them what this man means to me. In fact, if you go on Facebook, Pastor Rick Warren, last night at about 3 a.m., I wrote a tribute to Bishop Blake. And it's about 4 million people have seen that. And the point is this. It's rare to find a pastor who stays put. He's been here 46 years. Okay? Now, I've been at Saddleback 35, but 46 years is an amazing thing. And one of the things I know is that when you lead with love and you lead with integrity, it gets better every year. Now, if you don't lead with love and integrity, it gets worse. And then people have to, move around and change. But I was telling my pastor, some of my pastors on the way coming up, I said there are 3 words that define Charles Blake to me, and I want to talk about them to you tonight. If you want the power of God on your life, if you want the blessing of God in your life, if you want the anointing of God through your life, you must build your life, whether you're a pastor, bishop, businessman, homemaker, or whatever you do. You must build your life on integrity, humility, and generosity. And to me, these three words define Charles Blake: integrity, humility, and generosity. And I want us to think about it for just a minute, because actually they are the antidotes to the three great traps of leadership. Now, there's only one good thing we can say about Satan, and it's this: he's entirely predictable. He hasn't had any new temptations in thousands of years. He's using the same three basic temptations over and over and over. And it doesn't matter whether you're a school teacher or an entertainer or an artist or whatever you do. You're going to struggle, if you're going to be a leader, with these three temptations. And the antidote to the three great temptations of life are integrity, humility, and generosity. Now let me explain this. In 1 John chapter 2, verse 16 and down to 18, he says this: love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And let me stop right there. So, wait a minute. In 1 John, he says, 2:16, he says, don't love the world. And yet the same guy over in John 3:16 says, God so loved the... So which is it? Okay, really. It says God so loved the world, but then it says you're not to love the world. The difference is the meaning of the word world. Context is everything. In John 3:16, he's talking about the people of the world. In 1 John 2:16, he's talking about the value system of the world. God says we are to love the people and hate the value system. Now, typically, we do the exact opposite. We love the value system and hate the people. We just do that. And really, we are as materialistic and as hedonistic and as secular and, as everybody else in many, many different ways. So God says, no, you are to love people and you are to use things. Now, if you get that reversed, if you start loving things, you're going to use people. Okay? You love people, you use things. Money is neither good nor bad. It's simply a tool. It can be used for great good. It can be used for great harm. It's just a tool. We all know good ways it can be used, and we all know horrible ways it can be used. It's just a tool. But we're not to love it. We're to love people and to use things. Now, in the next verse, 1 John 2:17 and 18, it says this. It defines the world's value system. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. The lust of the flesh is passion. The lust of the eyes is possession. And the pride of life is position. It's sex, it's salary, and it's status. Passion, possession, position. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, the pride of life. Every single advertisement appeals to one of those three things. Lust of the flesh, which is materialism. Lust of the flesh, which is hedonism, or, I want to feel good. Lust of the eyes, I see it and I want it. That's materialism. And the pride of life. And so every commercial is either about, you deserve this. You'll feel good. I'm going, yeah, I want to feel good. I see women on commercials shampooing their hair and having a spiritual experience, to put it mildly. And then if I drive this car, then everybody will resent me, or they will envy me, or they will love me, or they will worship me, whatever. In fact, when my kids were small, I used to pay them a nickel every time they could identify which of the three temptations it was that the advertisement was doing. And I realized that in itself was materialism, but it was okay, because at least got them identified. Hey, Dad, there's lust of flesh. Right, bingo, there you go. And actually, when my kids were little, I would come home and we would, in life, you need to, if you're going to last in ministry, you got to divert daily, withdraw weekly, and abandon annually. Okay. Divert daily, you got to do something every day that totally de-stresses you. Shooting some hoops, playing on the piano, gardening, go play golf. I don't care what it is. Know what de-stresses you. Divert daily.